Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to yet another video. Today is March 20th, Wednesday, and this is an update of my agony from yesterday. I'm sorry, the trade that I took yesterday that stopped me out. There's a trade recap on it on YouTube. The pound yen buy that I got in, and it took me out with that wick. So I'm not going to talk about uh, how the trade was taken because that is explained in the previous video. I am not going to talk about how epic the trade was because you all have eyes and you can see for yourself. I don't have to talk about that. What I am, however, going to talk about is that one thing that you hear me say again and again and again: the power of major news events. And I'll keep talking about it because it's going to keep happening until you're alive or I'm alive. It has been happening before we were alive. It's going to continue to happen even after, you know, 100 years, for as long as the markets are going to exist. And they're going to exist because uh, the biggest economies in the world are not just going to get wiped out, right? So, what I'm talking about, once again, and you've heard me talk about it so many times, is the importance and the power of a major news event. In this case, it was an interest rate, and you can see how far it took the markets. So basically, again, hereabouts, hereabouts is where the interest rate came out, and there was a little bit of pullback in here on a smaller time frame that pushed the prices higher. There was an entry in here too, but I was of course asleep at that time. When I woke up during London session, there was a nice bit of pullback, and I wanted to get in on the pullback. I did get in on the pullback. I mean, you know the story, right? If you've seen the previous video, you know what happened in this trade. Another thing, so I'm gonna keep this video short. It's not gonna be a long video because I don't really have to explain anything. Just wanted to put across the one thing that I keep repeating over and over again is the importance of a major news event and the the importance of news that is not taught in the industry at all. People are afraid of news, do not trade at the time of the news. That is the right approach. You're not supposed to. But then they never tell you what to do after the news, right? I'm pretty sure whatever mentor you've been through, uh, if you're watching this video, I'm sure like me, you've been through multiple mentors, and I'm sure no one has talked about how important major news event is. So this move that you see right now, if I, you know, was in, if I hadn't gotten stopped out in this trade, I would have made my entire month's money on this. And of course, I did not, so I'm not going to boast about that. What I am going to boast about again is what I keep telling you guys again and again and again is a major news event. In this case, yen interest rate. So today's dollar interest rate, we'll see what that does. Make a video about that later on. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is how important it is to be flexible in your analysis. If you've seen the weekly analysis video that came out on Sunday, where I talk about how I'm looking for yen strength, right, coming from the previous week, although it did not come from a news event, right? It wasn't from a news event, and we knew that yen interest rate is going to come out. But what I want to talk to you guys about is how important it is to be flexible in what you have already analyzed. And as if you've seen the video from Sunday, videos rather from Sunday, you would hear me say multiple times that as of right now, this is how it looks like. If uh, the sentiment changes in the market with the interest rate, the price will show you and will take different actions then. But the price will show you that does not want to sell. It wants to buy. And that is exactly what happened. So my bias on this initially as we came in uh, for this week was that of a sell on this chart. Now, the prices were hereabouts, and I was pretty interested on the sell side. But if you've been following me since this channel came into existence, that is just about 3 weeks ago, I think. So it's not a lot of time. But if you have been following me, you should know that I would wait for price to break through this, then come back, and then I'd be able to get in on the sell side. But what happened instead? Interest rate came out and the prices shot higher and through all of these supplies and whatever. And then the next pullback after that was golden. And you can see what happened, right? I mean, all of you have eyes. You can see how far the market went. And again, the importance of major news events. So there are about 10 to 12 major news events that come out during a month, right? There are 8 interest rates. Uh, there's NFP. There are a few CPIs, GDPs. Make it 15, right? Out of these 15, and I'm not kidding you right now. And the proof of what I'm talking about is right in front of you. This pound yen massive move. So if I am not in on this trade, so there's no point talking about it. But just to put it out there, if I had not been taken out on this trade, this in the matter of less than 24 hours, this has done 44R. The risk to reward on this is 44R. So if you're able to get in on 2 or 3 out of these 15 news events in a month, you do not need to do anything else. This is all you need to do. This is all you need to understand. Of course, there was a mistake on this trade that I realized later on while doing the post analysis is I could have, had a wider stop loss, but then I don't do that. That is how it works. This is my plan of action. I do not do a wider stop loss because I'm paying the risk to reward game here, and if it takes me out, it takes me out. It is what it is. If I'm not able to make money off of this, uh, here's the thing that you could tell yourself to treat the FOMO, what we call fear of missing out. This is not the first and the last time that this has happened in the markets. Of course, it takes these big moves, they take time to set up. And as I've told you, there are about 15 major news events that come out during one day. I mean, I'm sorry, one month. All you have to do is be so much disciplined and be in on 3 or 4 out of these 15 news events. And that is not a tough task. And if you are able to execute this plan that I'm putting in front of you right now, you do not have to do anything else. You do not have to stay in front of the charts every day, all night long, 24 hours, having a headache, a migraine, or, you know, um, eventually uh, getting your eyes checked and getting your eyeglasses or whatever. You don't need to do that. It is initially going to be difficult, of course, but it's not as difficult as it looks like if, of course, done properly. So it takes time to understand how to do it properly. Have to invest in your education. It's not like um, if you want to be a civil engineer and you come on YouTube and you look at videos about, how to be a civil engineer and eventually you are a civil engineer. No, you go to well, you start from going to kindergarten, and then you go through all the grades in the school, then you go to college, then you go to universities, and that is eventually after what 18 years of your life you become a civil engineer. Because and throughout that time you're investing in your education, investing time in your education, you're investing money in your education. And after 18 years of hard work and spending all that money, you become a civil engineer. Or, if you talk about any other profession for that matter, you want to become a pilot, you want to become an architect, a teacher, a scientist, whatever, you name it. You cannot just go on YouTube and, become a professional. And if you want to be successful in this industry, you have to treat it as a profession. It cannot be a hobby. If anyone tells you that you can trade part time and make money off of it, that does not work. That does not work. Because, again, the industry that pays so much, how can it be so easy to, figure out and be able to do that? Eventually, it is going to be easy, after you've invested time, after you've invested in your education. Of course, eventually, there comes a point when it is easy. But, the journey itself is one hell of a journey. But again, that one hell of a journey is worth it. All right, just wanted to talk about some stuff today. So we've got dollar interest rate today. We probably have Swiss franc interest rate today too. Let's take a quick look. No, no, no Swiss franc interest rate. Just the dollar interest rate. It's probably tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna have Swiss franc interest rate and pound interest rate. So today's gonna be busy. Tomorrow's gonna be busy, and we'll see if we get an opportunity. We'll take the trade. Anyway, guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. Cheers.